Walk it like I talk it. You know what I mean? I'm just asking for a fair chance. You know what I mean? I don't mind. I lost before. Nothing's wrong with losing. I can handle a loss, but I want to lose fairly.
I seen Mike Tyson at the weigh-in. You know, I've been watching Mike for about, I've been on the undercard for 4 or 5 times. And I've always watched how he looks at other opponents. And he just knew it. I just seen I was just whooping that ass.
Mike Tyson's fall from grace in Tokyo provided one of the more improbable sports stories of the year, and following Buster Douglas's surprise victory, the boxing world scrambled to promote his next championship fight. What resulted was the unlikely alliance between Don King and Bob Arum as they were pitted against the Mirage Hotel owner, Steve Wynn.
This was galvanized by a despicable individual next door who was doing both of us wrong, who just felt that he could disregard and disrespect contract rights and had no ethics and morals in what he was doing in business. And that's in essence, is what brought it about. From that happening, Bob and I started dialogue, and when we began to talk, we found out that our little differences were dwarfs compared to the monumental problem we had with this Steve Wynn.
I try not to think of Don King and Bob Arum. I find both of those fellas at times amusing, but most of the time unpleasant and objectionable characters. They're not my kind of guys.
I think that Steve Wynn was the catalyst in the sense that Don and I were both done wrong by the man. Not that he wanted to become a boxing promoter. That's fine and that's fair. But he showed so little respect for each of us by violating our contracts, by not giving a darn what we were doing legally, following the normal legal systems.
Both of those fellas, Arum and King, had had a lot of problems with all the fighters with which they've been associated over the years. Arum and King are being sued all their lives by just about everybody they do business with.
We have never, ever experienced a situation where a man would have such little respect for both of us that he, without any compunction, would violate any contract, feel he could beat us in court, wouldn't matter, he'd get the biggest lawyers, and he would just crush us.
Bob Arum attacked Michael Nunn. Michael Nunn came to us. Don King offended and alienated Buster Douglas in Tokyo, and John Johnson and Buster Douglas went looking for other people. We just happened to be there. It's sort of like shoot the messenger.
Steve Wynn has promised him everything, gave him nothing, but the man legitimately could get the only fight that he need to have is Tyson and Douglas rematch, and he'd have made $25 million legitimately without a problem.
The exploitation of these fighters, the advantages that have attained of them are inexcusable. John Johnson and Buster Douglas told me that King skipped out without paying their hotel bill like he was supposed to in Tokyo. This kind of behavior alienates the fighters. When James Buster Douglas, the heavyweight champion of the world, climbs into the ring with Evander Holyfield, it'll be a mighty big moment. And if anybody else doesn't think it's going to be a mighty big moment, I do.
The public doesn't perceive Evander Holyfield as a true heavyweight, and he isn't, because if he was a true, real heavyweight, why would he be fighting a Seamus McDonough? I mean, a Seamus McDonough. I would be embarrassed to put George, who's, believe me, has fought a lot of stiffs, in with a Seamus McDonough.
I would appreciate it if Steve would just respect my contractual rights and commitment and to get away from my fighters.
Well, I think Steve is essentially an intelligent person. And I think, as all intelligent people, he will learn the error of his ways. And I hope that's sooner rather than later, for his sake.
I think that Don King and Bob Arum deserve one another. They should have a long and happy life together.
Steve Wynn eventually won the right to promote Buster Douglas's next bout. It didn't last long. Evander Holyfield knocked him out in the 3rd round. The beneficiary of that knockout was George Foreman, who appeared on SportsCenter immediately following the fight. And Big George, the former heavyweight champ, offered food for thought.
I'm a contender. I'm going to be heavyweight champ of the world. Nobody can stop me. I'm going to eat hamburgers and cheeseburgers. I'm going to belly bump that little guy all over the ring. I'm the next heavyweight champ of the world. Tell all my friends out there with the gray beards and what they call middle age and senior citizens. I'm going to hit them with my big senior citizen middle age serve sandwich. Who you up the nose punch? Hold the hamburgers, darling. What was that? Okay, you betcha. You can bring the hamburger now. Bring the hamburger. Bring it. Bring it now, baby. Bring that hamburger, Jones. Don't do me like that. I can never pull up to McDonald's without any money. I got to have money to go into Burger King. And so that is a motivation. The kids are singing right now, fat man, why you so fat? Well, I drank a bowl of water, I ate a bowl of soup, and now I'm going to eat Evander Holyfield too. I'm going to go to Baskin Robbins, and I'm going to eat every flavor ice cream in the world. And then when you start pushing and shoving me, you're going to have to push and shove a whole franchise. I eat them. I eat chicken feet. Man, I eat everything. 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 Everything.
I travel more as a preacher around the country than I ever did as a boxer, and it was had good chicken dinners too.
In all fairness to Foreman, he has fought his share of quality opponents, but those bouts took place nearly 2 decades ago, facing the likes of Ali and Frazier. If you look at the list of victims George has had in his comeback, what's hard to differentiate between fruits and vegetables?
The definition of tomato can in boxing parlance. An opponent. One who is not expected to mount much of a challenge to the star of the show.
Attack of the killer tomatoes! Attack of the killer tomatoes! They'll beat you, bash you, squish you, mash you, chew you up for brunch, and finish you off for dinner or lunch.
Well, it's been said that I won't fight a guy unless he's on a respirator, and I tell him that's a lie. He has to be 8 days off the respirator.
They're gooey, gushy, squishy, mushy, rotten to the core. They're standing outside your door.
George, who's, believe me, has fought a lot of stiffs.
Attack of the killer tomatoes! Attack of the killer tomatoes! They'll beat you, bash you, squish you, mash you, chew you up for brunch, and finish you off for dinner or lunch.
When I say that George Foreman was one of the guys who implemented affirmative action by giving a guy like myself an opportunity, plus he lives up to it, fighting and knocking out whoever he knocks out, whether they stiffs or otherwise, he knocks them out.
Attack of the killer tomatoes! Attack of the killer tomatoes! They'll beat you, bash you, squish you, mash you, chew you up for brunch, and finish you off for dinner or lunch. Lunch, lunch, dinner or lunch, 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 dinner or lunch.
But there's one thing you can guarantee. He's going to have difficulty raising his hand in victory. That I can guarantee. In the process, I won.
So you managed to have 2 emotions going, fear and anger.
Fear and anger, yes. And when they work together, let me tell you, I mean, I've always had fear, but never the anger. But with the anger, with the fear, can almost make you turn into a murderer. I'm only kidding.
Not quite.
Well, not quite, but I do know that I couldn't wait to hit him.